country has been lobbying the leadership of several African countries to support its bid. On Friday, Morocco sent a special request to Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta to continue lobbying for that bid. And to tell us a bit more about this, Sarah Kimani joins us now live from Kigali. Sarah, very good afternoon to you once again. Has the EU accepted Morocco's request?
Well, we still do not know if the African Union is indeed going to accept the request by Morocco, because the reason that Morocco pulled out of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, in 1984 was because the OAU at that time admitted the Sahrawi Republic to be a member of OAU. So it will be interesting to see if indeed that will happen. Remember, also during this time we'll be expecting to hear whether the African Union will accept the request by Israel to return to its position as an AU observer. So quite a full tray there in terms of who wants to be admitted, who wants to be an observer. But Morocco indeed says that the time has come for it to work together with the African Union and to work with African countries. And it is also being said that the King of Morocco is likely to attend this particular summit.
All right, Sarah, what's the likelihood that it will be readmitted during the summit?
Well, one of the issues that will come up is the Republic of Sahrawi and the fact that Morocco still occupies that small country, and so we will see whether African Union will be making demands that Morocco withdraws from the Republic of Sahrawi, and also whether it will indeed be readmitted now, or there will be debate, or there will be asked to fulfill some of conditionalities for them to be readmitted to the African Union.
All right, Sarah. So a lot, as you said, is on the agenda for who's being admitted and who wants to be a part of the AU. What else has transpired at the summit this morning?
Well, what we have seen is a lot of African heads of state continuing to arrive here in Kigali for the summit proper, which begins on Sunday. But before that, there will be a lot of side events. There will be around South Sudan. There will be also talks on Burundi. But today we have had also talks on how do we move from the continent that it has heavily depended on imports to a continent that becomes industrialized by 2063 or even earlier. One of the panel discussions we attended, the head of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism saying that Africa will indeed have to retrain a lot of its people. They will need to look for capacity building. He says the continent lacks more than 10,000 engineers per country, and so for example, for industrialization to take place, then they will need to invest more in vocational training so they can get the critical skills that any country or any continent needs to be able to leapfrog to an industrialized continent.
All right, and Sarah, it's been 4 years since those infamous 2012 elections which saw the first chairwoman being elected. What are we expecting with regards to the elections?
It's still not clear if those elections will take place. We have a candidate from Botswana, we have a candidate from Uganda, and a candidate from Equatorial Guinea. Those ones are representing the Southern African region, the East African region, and the Central African region, respectively. However, the West African region under ECOWAS wants those elections postponed until January. They say as the current candidates who are there are not credible enough or do not have the weight that is needed to move forward the agenda of the African Union. And they say that in the absence of Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, anybody out of these three candidates who is elected will not be able to be on that agenda. One of the things, if ECOWAS decides does not take part in that election, it means whatever candidate is appointed will lack the 1/3 that is required for them to be able to become the chairperson. So they will probably have then to wait until January, meaning Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma will carry on until January next year. However, the Rwandan Foreign Affairs Minister Louise Mushikiwabo yesterday spoke to the media and said that they expect that election will still take place. Of course, there are still commissioners who will be retiring during this time, and those positions must also be filled.
All right, it will be interesting. We wait to see what comes out of that. Sarah Kimani, our correspondent, reporting live from the AU Summit in Kigali.